It's great. So it's all good. So, all right, let's get started here so that we can have this recorded and put it for Corey's good time. So we do have a lot of good things that we've talked about this week, from the field and to everyone that's out there building, people who are using Ruby, things that we're getting feedback in. Obviously, if you make sure you get people to the FLEXCAST, make this part of your little morning ritual for Saturdays. But then, of course, make sure you get people to the Flex Connection. Now, we're putting a media kit together for the digital navigating digital marketing coming up on January 27th. And this is so big that we want to make sure that we give you great marketing tools, because if there's anything that you can use to add more value and give someone a reason to become part of the Flex family and to put Ruby into their world, these are the type of things that you can use. And so this is not just a learning opportunity where it's going to be really good, by the way. This is probably one of my favorite things I have ever built and pushed out is the email marketing strategies and tactics and the whole 2 hours of incredible details of how you're going to do that. When you leave the 27th, you should be able to have everything in an email strategy set up for you, as far as what type of emails to create, what type of campaigns to create, how to create those campaigns. And we're also going to be releasing our workflow automation. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you'll be able to connect whatever email platform that you're using with Ruby. You'll be able to integrate content that's created in Ruby to be pushed out to wherever it is, whether it be Medium with your blogs or maybe your social media. This will be a place where you can start to tie everything together. And you can start to go out and really integrate some automated pieces to growing out your business. And I'll just tell you, it's email is not the marketing part of it, is not just in marketing as in creating dollars. It's about nurturing. It's about going out and having great communication and bringing people into the fold. This will be something you want. We're putting a media kit together so we can get it into your hands and you guys can start to push this out. Because anybody can come to this if they have an active Ruby subscription. So that gives you some big value. If anybody just wants to come in and look at this for $15, they can get in with Ruby, they can try it out, and they get to come to this event. There's absolutely no way you can talk to anybody that has any desire to do improvements and not be able to get to these things and add some stuff to it. So with that, Corey, anything else that you can add this week? I know you've been doing a lot of stuff on customer service. Anything you want to address there real quick?
Well, just the standard stuff, anything that involves transactions, money, orders, order processing goes through your back office. Anything involving Ruby technical support comes to the fresh desk support, the Ruby support. And yeah, that's about it. It's been pretty quiet on the customer service front, actually. So we do have some a little backlog, but that'll be resolved on Monday.
Awesome. So one of the things I get to announce today too is that we have been, for a little while waiting for the Flex IT team to get caught up. So here's the good news: our renewals, our upgrades and downgrades, those are all now functioning the way they're supposed to inside of Flex. So the next step for us is to make sure that everybody is getting onto the renewal, right? So if you got in August in our initial alpha test release and then our beta release, a lot of you may not have actually been, doing the renewals. You're going to start to see a pop-up that goes into the back office. So when you log into the back office, it's going to let you know that if you haven't had a subscription renewal, that it's time to do that. And there'll be a date in which you will need to get that done so that you still remain to get access. Now, let me also be very clear on something with Ruby, is that once you join Ruby and you've created content here, you're always able to log back into Ruby. So even if you don't have an active subscription, you can get into Ruby and you can have access to your saved content, because that was something you paid for, that's yours. And so you're always going to be able to get to your saved content and all the stuff that you've created or whatever. That's all here still, okay? What won't be able to happen without the active subscription is obviously being able to generate content. And so you'll have to have the an active subscription to create the content, but anything you've already created, you'll have that, and you'll also have access to get into it even without, your active subscription. However, that's the good news, is that we finally have bridged a little bit of that gap. The next thing I believe on the big picture is to make the single sign-on, get that finished on that side, so you don't have to keep logging in twice, logging into the back office and then logging into Ruby. That will be the next thing I think they're knocking off the list, and they're literally going down the list, but they're getting to the stuff now, and I'm super excited about that part of it. And that's really super important to know when you're looking at the business, because that's important to get the volumes rolling through there. So, okay, let's. I'm going to do a couple of things this morning when it comes to Flexology. I want to talk about a couple of things that we were starting to talk about last week, and then you saw the start to transition to a different pitch that we did, and then all that stuff that we're talking about right now with the business and how we're explaining Ruby, is to get people to understand that Ruby is not just for the marketing person or the business model. It's definitely a home run for those, but it's not always those. And so I want to try to combine Flexology along with our Flexonomics this morning, to kind of combine them all together, so that we can go through and we can talk a little bit about who Ruby is for, and then we can talk about how do we demonstrate that, and where are those things inside of Ruby that we can kind of use these to relate to different ways that people will use it. And again, when we start to talk about who Ruby is for, it can be for everyone. It's just about how do they implement it into their life. And I just see so many different facets of people that we're talking to every single day, that it is so across the board. I mean, from people that I personally know that are using it for, I know ministers that are using it to create great tools within their own church. I have people that are doing it for school. I've got people who are now incorporating it just into like their everyday meal planning and getting their whole grocery list, like things that they implement in every single day of their life. And they're all different demographics. They're all different in their places that they're trying to implement it in their life, but it's always the same thing. They start to use it, and then they find, oh, I need to do this, and then I need to go do that, and then I need to go do this. And so you find out that it's very expansive. It starts to grow a lot in how we go about doing that. And so one of the things I want to do is I want to look at each of the things that we talk about when we're starting to put the presentation together, because number one, I want some feedback. Number two, I want to be able to understand where we go on creating and releasing more modules that will be coming out, and how we can do that based upon where things are going. Obviously, we want to start to move and cater and push things where things are going inside of the family on the stuff. So that's one of the things. So let's start right here. First of all, give up some more fire for Corey, just because I think our slides are starting to look good. We're starting to incorporate the way that look and feel that we get there. So let him know that you like that, because I think it's really good and where we're going here. So let's obviously talk about business tools and marketing. We have that covered. I don't think we have to spend too much time talking about all the different things that we can do on business and marketing, but we don't want to be the one that is always just saying, hey, this is how you do it and this is where you go. I think giving people an idea on how they can do it in their business, and then letting them be creative, let them find where they can implement it the most, because that's where you're going to start to find things that are just out there that we had never even thought about. So I'm going to kind of go and talk a little bit about this stuff here. Let me go here. Let me get to my other screen. One second. Corey, one question for you real quick. As we start to move into our new releases of stuff coming out, give them a little bit of talk too about kind of what you're thinking about on workflow, user interface, the way that we're looking at all the different things to kind of make it easier and consolidated. So kind of talk a little bit about that, with them, so they can kind of see where we're going maybe on the flexology of that part of it.
Okay, so everybody knows all of the all of the people that have been around for a long time, been with us since the start. You know all of the microservices. You know where to find them. You know how powerful they are. But for somebody just coming in, it might be a little overwhelming. So we're looking at a way to kind of consolidate some of these features into one little pocket. Sorry. So that it makes it a little more a little more accessible. I don't want to say makes it more user friendly, because we've really worked hard to make the interface as user friendly as possible. And with this much stuff, I mean, this many features and this much power, just at your fingertips, it's a little hard to kind of titrate it down into something really concentrated to where you have all these tools in one place. But that is the end goal, is just to make it, more accessible for everyone, because not everyone's a power user. Some people just want to do book reviews and make some recipes, just simpler things, or maybe do 2 or 3 tasks at the same time. So that's the end goal, is to just keep refining this until it's just, a no-brainer, just to use all of it, all the power of Ruby, without having to go, piece it together from here and there. I think we've done pretty good so far. Don't get me wrong, but to make it even easier is the goal, because we want this. The goal was to get the power of AI in the hands of everyone, and so everyone includes those people who are not power users. So we're working on refining it even more. So I think you'll be excited to see where we go.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things that we're constantly learning from you guys as well. So this is always a progress that we're always continuing to move forward. And so good suggestions are always, accepted. But I do want to address one thing, because I think it's interesting. I've gotten a couple of things and a couple of feedback pieces, is like, hey, is Ruby ever going to be user friendly? I actually got that the other day. And I'm like, well, I mean, I think I think there's definitely places that we can improve on this, the layout, the format. The one thing I just want to be clear is, like, one of the challenges that we have, and this is something that you'll address when you start talking to people, is, if it's just one thing, like if it's just Ghost, it's easy. Like, this is an entire app. I mean, I could take it whole out just on this one thing, and that's super easy. And that's kind of what you see all over in the AI world right now. And that's where we differ, and we create our own lane inside of the AI revolution, is that we're taking all of the different assets and all the different things that we can do, and put them into one place that all work together. And you're going to start seeing that really come into play with the virtual studio, where you can see that the composer window will not just be like this. Like, it's going to have the ability to add images. You'll have the ability to add audio. You'll be able to add this to, one-click posting and pushing it out. So this is starting to make a little bit more sense as we start to pull everything together, and we make it all fit together. And so that's kind of where we're headed. And that's kind of where it's very soon that we'll head that direction. But I think we also need the videos at the very beginning. And I think this is something that we'll have fairly quickly. It's just when you first log in, to have a video welcoming them and walking them through a tour of how to use it, and having it available that they can go and kind of like jump around and see how to do this stuff. That will help get people a little bit faster into the process of it. But at the end of the day, it's something that you have to learn, and when you learn it, that will actually integrate deeper into the way that your world works. So when we come in now, thanks, Corey, by the way, that's something that we really are looking for, forward to, just kind of keep refining and making it easier and making it better. And we love that your comments are great on that. Now, when we talk to business and marketing tools, I mean, I love the modules. I do prefer the list view. It's just not as cool, but there's some people who just like to know where they are. That's great. I actually like the visuals when I'm looking at my featured. It's just a little bit easier, or my favorites. So it's just easier for me to find those that I'm looking for inside of this one area because I can find them quick. But that's just the way my brain works. Everybody has their own, but the list view, it separates them down by the different collections, and I like to be able to see that. But when you start going in and talking about all the different things that you can do in the marketing and business side of this, it's literally endless. And so by just getting them started into simple business stuff that they want to do, if they're looking for business strategy, this module is so easy with a single thing that you're adding. And you can look at the inputs. This is so simple. A product type and a name. That's it. That's all you need, and that gets it started. These are the easiest ways to just kind of let people to see what it is that they're trying to get accomplished. When you get deeper into the business with them, then they're going to start finding what makes sense to them. I had someone come and say, "Well, I don't even know what GMB is." Well, I'm sorry. That's okay. I mean, but the person who really would use that are people who know what GMB is, right? They know what Google My Business is going to be about. And so they'll be able to go deeper in that. And we also have the definitions in there, but there are things that are going to be also adding more features into this. And so we'll actually maybe start breaking them down into sub collections. So we have our collections, then we might have sub collections inside of those that are very poignant, like taking all of our Google My Business as a sub collection of business and a sub collection of marketing. So we're looking at even breaking this down even further so that it's easier to navigate through these modules. Because you got to remember, we're putting new ones out all the time, and there's hundreds of them, probably in the near future, thousands of these that we got to find a way to break them down. And so that's one of the highlights of things that we're doing on and user presentations and all that stuff that we're trying to make easier for you guys. So anyway, on the business side, that's very important to get them in there, see all the different things that they can have, and they can start to build on this. Easy way to look at it. Okay, I'm going to jump back forth here because I want to go through each of these slides as we go through this, because this is how I think we can explain how people can use this in their life. I love the homeschool and tutoring, and it's amazing. If you look at some of the statistics that are out there just around homeschooling, I mean, especially since the pandemic, and we had the schools shutting down, and we had kids, and there are so many more people who are either online or are doing homeschooling, that this is a major place that RUBI can fit in. And I know that Corey homeschools his kids, and they use it every day. I'll have you talk to that for just a second here in a second, Corey. But what I have been seeing is that how this fits into a student's life, and it's so many different facets. And I see it in my 9-year-old, I see it in my 18-year-old, I see it in my graduates that are out in the real world now, and how they're trying to go back and pull it in, and then teach other kids. So my daughter is a camp supervisor and consulting and counselor, not consultant, but counselor. And when she takes it and uses it with her kids, like there's so many things that you can do to sit down with this. And in homeschooling and tutoring, this is really about us getting a really good set of modules created. And that was one of the things that we started putting on the list for our modules, was to really hone in on the education platforms. So this is something that if you have suggestions on the right modules that you will need to create a specific essay that's being requested, or research tools that we can put in that directly go in to help in the different age levels, we would love to have that, because that will help us create this education platform that's going to be really solid. This is one place that just makes it a no-brainer for everybody. If anyone has kids and you've done tutoring, it's a lot more than $15 a month. It's way more than $50 a month. And so when you have somebody that already knows everything that you need to know, and you can explain it in so many different ways, that is going to be a major place that you can go and really drive. And so think through how you can use it in the homeschooling. And then what this also does is it broadens out your marketing space, right? So when you're looking at talking and homeschooling and tutoring, you're talking about now every child from about 5 years old up to 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then you're looking at all the parents. And I say this jokingly in the presentation when I talk about when my fourth grader comes home with math homework and I don't remember how to do it. Well, it's been 45 years. I need to go back and figure it out again. And Ruby is amazing in helping do that. But I did something with her the other day. I was just sitting down inside of chat, and we took a problem that she had and we put it into Ruby, and it was just amazing to watch chat just go through the process with it, because it's not just giving you the answer, it's giving you a solution, and then you can continue to break that down. So this is a awesome piece. And one of the things I think is really important to say when we're talking about what Ruby is able to do is talk about leveling the playing field. And it doesn't matter what place in life that you implement this, it helps level the playing field. If you're talking about business and marketing, you might be a small business that is competing against people who have a very big, deep pockets, that have great seed investment and major money investment back behind them. And they can go and hire, the 10 different people in marketing departments that go out and create their social and their content marketing and their SEO and all that stuff. And this helps level the playing field. Yes, you still have to do more work, but it's a lot easier to do the work within Ruby than it is to try to do it. It's nearly impossible to kind of maintain anything that a team would have. And so it helps level the playing field. It helps level the playing field right here with people able to learn. A lot of people learn very differently from other people. And so to be able to have a different way of bringing information to them through just asking Ruby, this is a place that chat can really be used well. And I think one of the other things that we did the other day, just as an example, and I have it on the list of modules for us to create, are to be able to create quizzes and surveys and polls and things like that inside. Because one of the things that I was wanting to do with my 9-year-old is to make sure that she's learning it. And we did it with a science project that was just like, hey, we're talking about geology, we're talking about rocks. I don't know if you all know everything about rocks. I can't remember everything from fourth grade science about rocks, but I can go back and I can find out from Ruby, and then I have Ruby create the quiz. And with that quiz, we can literally go out and start to see, number one, I'm learning it. Again, she's learning it. And it was a fun way to do it. So being able to create those quizzes and stuff inside of here is something that is huge. And so we'll continue to focus on that part coming out and coming forward. Okay, now let's talk about meal plans, shopping lists. But beyond that, I want to talk about this slide in more of a broader scape of life. This is the way that I know that my mom is 74, and this is how she uses it, right? She uses it every single day to go in and do, a million things, but shopping lists and making sure that she's kind of making a whole list of everything that she has to do today and prioritizing that list. She does that, and she says it's a great tool for her to be able to control that time management. We also have amazing ways to do the meal plans where it's coming up with new recipes and things that she can use, and she can go in and kind of find out where it is. And this isn't just about finding weight loss or trying to find a meal plan that is more special or anything. It's literally just about, hey, these are the foods that you like. This is the diet that I'm going to be eating in and living in, and then giving you these things that you can go out and do. Now, she uses it for that. This goes well beyond just the meal plan and shopping list when we start talking about this demographic of people who are using our platform. And I thought my mom had a really funny one the other day. So I don't know if any of you still remember book clubs, but my mom is in a book club with the local public library here, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of funny to still see people do that, which I love that because it's so funny. But she goes there every week, and they give a new book every week, and then she reads this book, and she literally told me last week, she's like, I just don't like this book. This is not my cup of tea for this type of book. She said, I just love Ruby because I was able to put in the book summary and give me everything. And I went to it, and they didn't even know I didn't read the book, but I knew everything about it, and I got through it so quick. And so there's my cheat for the week. If you're taking that, if you're in a book club and you don't like the book, you can put it in a book summary and get all that you need. So this is a very expansive group of people that we need to talk to. It's actually the one that I think is where RUBI is so important for them, because they don't have anyone to teach and train them, to walk them through. They don't have any idea like really what can be done until we can explain it to them and show how easy it is. And so this is so important to just kind of keep thinking that, you know, how we can expand it into the way that they use it. And we just keep listening. So again, feedback is huge when it comes into all the different things that we can do with this. Okay, so the next slide is all about nutrition and workouts, and our workout plans, our nutritions obviously are there. How we can work this in, this is going to get a lot deeper with the app. One of the things that you'll see with the new Flex app when it gets out is that it will have a fitness section built into the app. Now, Corey, I know that when Corey and I are working on building all that stuff out, we're putting all this stuff in, and this is not designed to be like the end all for everything on the app. But how cool is it to have the app where you have your steps and you have your heart rate and you have all those things that are being, you know, recorded inside of your app on your phone, and then be able to pull that in and let RUBI break it down even further and implement that information into the workout. So all of this is being incorporated into the Flex app, right? It's not going to be just for invitations. It's going to be everything. And so that you'll have different sections inside your app. You'll have your fitness part. You'll have your gamification where you have your games. So much goes into the app, but this will be a great one because it will track your steps. It will help do some stuff inside of this for your nutrition. It'll also help track all the food. So you'll have all that built right inside the app, integrated directly there. So will your workout. Like, you know, you can put in the calories that you're burning in the workouts that you did, and you can track your goals. Having everything in one place so that you can then have RUBI crunch those numbers and give you a hey, you could do more of this, or you've been consistent with this, but you haven't done great days on this, and maybe you could change this. How incredible is it to bring all that into one place and have a simple question? This is going to just blow, you know, more people's minds as they start to integrate it in, because it's, again, a one place so they can get everything. And RUBI being integrated into the app is a very big part of moving everything, right? Because RUBI can do so much on the app side, from, you know, looking at some generic stuff, just demographics that it can process very quickly, to knowing exactly what is the best invite to send out that's having the most conversions. It's looking at all those different types of things that you can do. So in this space is all different age ranges, by the way. But we're starting to hone in directly on our imagery and stuff when we talk about the nutritional workout plans, right into a broader market of around a 24 to 45. Like, that's a targeted area that we're going. These are the people that are going to be more passionate in driving that as a whole, and this is be more targeted where we're going. But this app is going to be a phenomenal piece to add to this piece as we get going. Okay, now the last one is travel and vacation plans. So one of the things that we went through last week was just looking at all the modules. I've gone through all the modules. I'm going through the sections and the collections of them all. Where can we expand? And one of the things is travel and vacation plans is a big part of that. But it goes beyond this. We're talking about this direct target into you know, a 25 to 54 market. I mean, this is a very broad market. It's actually 25 plus market. And this is where we can really get into more detail. And so one of the things we instructed the devs last week was to start to work on a new set of collections of travel and vacation plan modules. They're going to go deeper and deeper and deeper, so you can break them down and you can get really what you want, but day by day, and then have that whole thing being created. So this will be another one. But again, when we're talking about all the different imagery that you're seeing in this presentation and how we're doing this, it's intentional. I think it's a part that we were missing. And I think it's a softer, easier way for people to understand how this thing can help them. And we're going to keep working on it. We're going to keep learning how to make the pitch better. But this is the way I think that people can understand and consume all the benefits and things that happen inside of RUBI without being over the top techie. And we really need to continue to work on breaking that down. So again, we build this as partners. We look to you guys to give us some direction as well. So anything that you have on this, imagery or things that people can use it for that you're finding, send them to us. These are the easier slides to put together. Number one, these are also great things for your social media. So be able to take little lifestyle integration with the technology that can give you that lifestyle. That's really important. And so you're going to see some media stuff come out. I mean, Corey is overloaded, but we've got a lot on his plans. But this is one of the things that I want to get done for you guys is some social media pieces like this that start to go and get to the human side of people's emotions to buy and get into that model of it. I think we got real techie, and I think for people who are technical, they love it. They love it. For people who are just like, how do I use it in my life? I don't know how to do that. This is going to make a big difference. And then I think there's also going to be different things that we'll see as we start to get very honed in on stuff, right? You might see something that's very driven into the education side of it. You might see something that's very driven into just the marketing. The more that we obviously have time to develop more tools, you'll be able to find exactly which lane that you'll want to use to go and make your pitch. And this will make a very big difference. It's also going to be big when you really start to realize how you can do your target marketing and your funnels and all that stuff while building Flex and using the different imagery with the different content and the different personas that you can build around this to go and really target and bring them in where they are feeling like this is going to be awesome, right? If I'm going out and finding let's say travel or vacation Facebook groups that I want to be a part of, and I want to drop stuff into there to bring them, to maybe a new Facebook group that's RUBI vacationing or something, vacationing on RUBI. This would be a process in how I would do that, right? So I'd bring people there. I go pick a post that I would think would target exactly who's in there. And then I'm going to bring them into another place where I can give them a little bit more nurturing, get them, get an email, or I can go out and build my list. So all of those little things, those are easy and they can do it quickly. But this will definitely make a way for us to start to build a list and hone in on where we're going. So anyway, this will be great. Let's see. I'm looking at some stuff here from Sonia. That's good. Also more SEO type demonstrations. Okay. So SEO is a good one. It's just for people to understand SEO, I think they need to know that there's a commitment to that. And so if they're doing it, if they're not doing it, they should be doing it. But if they're doing it, RUBI makes it a whole lot easier. Sonia, I'll take that and see if we can throw something like that together for us as well. All right, I hit the button. Let's go the other direction. All right, so that's going to wrap up our Flexology and our Flexonomics this week. We are going to continue to keep pushing this up. Thursday, we did a first run. That was our very first run. I'm just kind of finishing up everything right before it went on. So it'll be better as we keep doing that. Take another shot at it this week. But I would love right now if you guys could put in a chat who maybe of somebody out there that's really using RUBI and has a unique way of doing it and would love to hear from them, because next week on FLEXCAST is going to be all from the field. So it's going to be 100%. I'm just going to introduce it and get it started, and it's going to come from people in the field. And I want to get that information. So Nicola Martin, great. That's going to be one. Pam Brill, Tanya Farron. Okay. So put them in here because we're going to be reaching out to you guys. And this is important because I want to start getting you guys more and more and more involved in driving what you can do and how you're doing it. And her ebooks. Yes. And by the way, I saw a great thing in Flex Connection from Tracy putting an ebook up there. Amazing. Thank you. I just love that kind of contribution and whatever, which kind of is a nice little transition into our Flexin for the week. And, we don't have anything really for our DJ because it was Corey week, and so I had him try to give me a couple new songs because I was trying to kind of make sure I had enough song to play, and he had a couple more, so I'm going to play a few of them here, just little bits so you can just hear a little bit more of Corey's as we go through some of this stuff. But yeah, the Beach Boys, Corey. Yeah. Anybody like? All right, so here we go. All right, so flexing this week. Let's go talk about Corey's week. We have influencers of the week. One of my favorite parts of the whole thing. Tanya Farron, and Tanya, I just spelled your name wrong. Sorry. Super excited about where things are going, and I love it when people catch a vision and they catch a fire, and it just keeps growing and growing, and you can see it and you can feel it just burning inside. Like they're so excited and they can't wait. And you just have done so much this last week that have just gone above and beyond. I think you're about to see some incredible benefits of RUBI in your life and in your world. And it's because of your dedication and your passion, and your passion comes through every conversation I ever have with you. And I think it's contagious when you go and talk to the people that you're talking about. So congratulations on Influencers of the Week. Another great one is Larry Scantlin. And sometimes you do things that you don't even know that people are maybe watching or that you don't think are important. But I want you to know that we're looking. And Larry, you are one of those people that sometimes, well, number one, you're always pushing content and pushing input. And I love that because you're always there and it's always supporting and uplifting. And it's like such great phrasing of how you're saying it to some people, including me. So I want to just know that even though you may not think that you're doing things great and you're just being you being you is incredible and supporting the vision of who we are and what we are. I want to say thank you. So congratulations to Larry Scantlin. And Larry, I know just like the next couple of FLEXCasts, we're going to have to get a little bit of an audio trip from you so that we can have everyone hear you sing because it's insane. All right, last one, Flex Profile for the week. Every week, it's just kind of hard to narrow down exactly who we're going to give this to because there's so much stuff going on and it's exciting. But I loved what I was just saying about the ability to go out and contribute without being asked, without being say, hey, could you go do this or will you do this? People are just doing it. And I just saw that from Tracy this week, pushing up the ebook into the Flex Connection. Man, I just love the way that you're always contributing. I love the way that you're committed to it. And I just want you to know that we appreciate that. And we want to make sure you understand that. So if you are in our Influencers of the Week, I'm going to get you guys 20,000 words and 20 credits. And for Tracy, you just earned 50,000 words and 50 credits. And so thank you so much for everything that you're doing. You're doing amazing things. The one thing I have missed in these little deals is like a little bit of a contest of some sort. So I would love to reward someone if they just are going to give us some input. So what the input is I want to know what if you could choose one module to have created specifically for you. Okay, one module created specifically for you. What would it be? I'm going to give you a minute or two to think about it and put it into chat. Anyone that makes a submission, I'm going to give them 10 credits and 10,000 words. And so please push in the one thing that you would like, and I'm going to play Corey's last song while we do that.
Shop, buy a bag of balloons with the money we got, set them free at the break of dawn, till one by one they were gone. Back at base, bugs in the software flash the message, something's out there, floating in the summer sky. 99 red balloons go by. dust that was a city. If I could find a souvenir just to prove the world was here, and here it is, a red balloon. I think of you and let it go.
All right. Sorry, my mic was on. All right, this is going to wrap it up for the week. Thank you so much for all of the inputs that you've been putting in. It's incredible. I used to say, Corey, thank you for putting up with me and putting up with everything that we put you through every single day. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thanks for bringing great music. And anything you want to say, I'm going to give you the last word right here.
No, that's it. I was expecting worse. I was expecting all-out war, but
Don't worry. There'll be days for that. But right now, I just want to say thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you all. Have a great week, and we'll see you on Monday night.